And what this means to me, Candace, and I think you agree with this, is that this whole thing is a farce. None of this has anything to do with the quality of life for Black people in America, the Black deaths in America. Because if Black Lives Matter and these organizations and these protesters, and if they really cared, I honestly believe they would be protesting in the inner cities when little kids get murdered. They will be protesting when David Dorn died. They will protest when Black officers get killed, because there's been plenty that have been killed unjustifiably, and they don't do any of it. They go out and buy mansions. The co-founder she got mansions in white neighborhoods. What's your thoughts on that?
Again, in her defense, right? I forgot what her name is, Patrisse something. She came out and said she was a Marxist from the very beginning. She believes in Marxist ideology. Marxist ideology is stealing money from other people to enrich yourself, right?
Right.
She did it, she did it. She stole money from a bunch of other people who were more ignorant than her. Karl Marx wanted to marry people to the government. Marxist ideology, like communists, Lenin, Vladimir Lenin, they wanted to marry people to the government. They used Marxist ideology to keep people in power. So we're the people that are smarter. We're the political class. We're the smart people. We're going to sell Marxist ideology to dumber people, right? The collective, who will see themselves as a collective, tell them it's all about the collective, while we enrich ourselves. She did that. I almost have to respect it. You know what I mean? There's nothing about what she did and what that she lied about. She never, made it seem, it's you got to be smarter than that to get scammed by her. So it's like, you can't discredit a Marxist for being a Marxist, right? And this is what it looks like. So people that are now kind of having the wool pulled from over their eyes, like pulled back from over their eyes, are saying to themselves, how did I fall for this? Why is she living in this? Well, it's like, because you don't know what a Marxist is, and you had no idea what she was talking about, and you believed the lie that if you were just in this together with a bunch of people, your lives were going to get better. No, her life was going to get better. Any person that's teaching you Marxist doctrines, their lives are going to get better. They're not teaching you Marxist doctrines because they actually believe in that. AOC, she's become a multimillionaire, right? She came, I'm good. The rich man's got to do this, rich man's got to do this, rich man's got. AOC became a multimillionaire while you guys were all rallying behind her. But she told you what she was. She told you was a socialist. So you have to respect AOC because she never lied about the fact that she was a socialist. The problem is that the people are not learning about what socialism is. They're not learning about who Karl Marx was. They're not reading the Communist Manifesto. So they keep being surprised by all of these things. I just go, well, okay, that's the next logical step.
Right. I feel like I need to pass the offering plate around with all this this preaching going on. I really do. I think that people are being fooled. There's a difference between capitalism and Marxism. Capitalism is that I'm going to provide a value or a good to you, and as many people as I can to change your life, and then I will be compensated in return. Marxism is that, no, I'm going to trick you and play on your heartstrings so you can give to a nonprofit organization. I'm going to take all that money and I'm going to be rich.
And I remember having a conversation with a really prominent Black conservative who's a lot older than me. And he said, you're going to get to a point where you're going to become frustrated that people just can't get it, right? That they did, like, it's just like you get frustrated with stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, I've said this for 3 years. I warned you about Black Lives Matter, right? I warned you that they're going to pollute the education system with critical race theory so that Black people become more ignorant, angrier, react. I've been saying this for 3 years, right? And so when people turn around and they pretend to be shocked when this stuff happens, like, so it's hard for me now to feel compassionate because I just am like, okay, I got to get to a point now where I can only try to bring the horse to drink the water so many times. And if you don't want to drink it and you want to be the horse that just passes out from dehydration, it's like, okay, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? And I have to stop seeing myself as just a fixer of Black America. I have to now step back and say, you know what? I'm an American, right? I believe in free markets and I believe in capitalism, and I can tell the truth, but I'm no longer going to weight my heart to the truth anymore, because I need to just make sure that my life is good, that the people that I work with, their lives are good. For Black Americans that want to make their lives better, I want to make sure their lives are good, right? But I'm almost exhausted. Like I'm like uninspired now by the riots, and I'm just like, all right, well, idiots got to be idiots. You know what I mean? And it's not just Black people that are out there rioting and looting. Like, it is happening, obviously overwhelmingly in these Black neighborhoods that are burning down to the ground. But it's like at a certain point, they need to individually get wise to what the actual racists are doing to them.
Yeah, and I remember going to Rider University, and it was a turning point event. It was supposed to be 50 people there. It ended up being 450 people, 400 Turning Point haters, people that hated me, showed up because I said that white privilege was a lie. The concept that they present as white privilege is a lie. And it almost broke me to the point where I'm like, man, I'm tired of messing with y'all. I don't even care about y'all no more. Don't ask me nothing. Y'all the dumbest people on planet Earth. I'm glad I got off the ship before it crashed, because y'all are unreconcilable. Like, yeah. I remember being there and I said, you can be whatever you want to be. There's a young lady walked up to a mic and she was saying, well, my mama's on crack and all of this, and like I don't have opportunities. And I said, look, young lady, you on full scholarship right now at Rider University to run track. You are off to a good start. You have been put in a trajectory that's greater than what your mom has done. Now finish the race and do well. Start the next generation. And then she go, well, I can't get a job because, what if I go to a job and they don't hire me because I'm black? And I said, young lady, don't put the cart before the horse. Like, go to the job, perform well, and then see how it works out. If they discriminate against you, then you handle it. But don't be afraid. Then she turned around and say, well, I got 2 jobs. I'm like, well, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to say you're gonna fail and you ain't never gonna be crap? And you're a dumb Negro and the white man is always. And then when I tell her,
she does want you to say that.
I can tell her you could be whatever you want, and they booed me. The whole 400 people booed me.
Right. Because they need, and the reason for that is because they need to believe in the victim narrative. Like they think that it sustains them somehow because it gives them attention. So they are willing to compromise their entire futures for a little bit of false attention. And I say false attention because her standing up there saying, I'm never going to be nothing. I used to have a friend, Devin, who used to say to me, if you believe that you can't, you won't. It's that easy. If you believe that you can't, you won't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, if you believe that you cannot do something, you're in your own way, So you got all these kids who are in their own way. So if she's up here trying to argue her own oppression, well, then by God, she is oppressed, but she's her own oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, so I have to agree with these kids. They tell me they're oppressed. I have to agree, because if you've already convinced yourself of that mentality, you're your own oppressor. I see your oppressor right in front of me. It's you, So it's like, and it's sad, of course, because, I so want to believe that every person is capable of just thinking, right? Of realizing that the entire system right now is trying to turn you into an ideological slave, into an emotional slave, right? To view yourself as less than. You think you're less than, you are less than, right? It's that easy. You think you can, you will. You believe that you're more, you will be more, right? It's that simple. So you can't, you can hope that you can try to change a mentality, but we have to expect that a lot of these kids are facing an uphill battle because they have an education system that is psychologically conditioning them to not believe in themselves.